Peace and light, everyone, and welcome to Mental Health Monday. I am your host, Dr. Jackie. The title of today's episode is Starting Again, Returning After Mental and Emotional Exhaustion. Again, I am Dr. Jackie. This episode is presented by PIMS Balance Sacred Wellness. Again, welcome everybody to Mental Health Monday. I'm Dr. Jackie, counselor, coach, ordained minister, and founder of PIMS Balance Sacred Wellness. It's been a while since we've gathered together for this space, and honestly, today felt like the right day to return. Sometimes even the people who encourage others need time to breathe, need time to regroup, need time to quiet the noise, and need time to recover emotionally and mentally. And that's what tonight's conversation is about. Tonight's topic is starting again, returning after mental and emotional exhaustion. Because many people right now are functioning, but they are tired, smiling, but mentally overloaded, working, but emotionally disconnected from themselves. And the truth is, sometimes the hardest thing isn't starting, sometimes the hardest thing is starting again. So, wherever you are tonight, driving, working, cleaning, resting, or simply trying to make it through the week, welcome back. And maybe more importantly, welcome back to yourself. Before we continue, remember the information shared during Mental Health Monday is for educational, inspirational, and wellness purposes only, and is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or crisis intervention, or even therapeutic treatment. But if you are experiencing a mental health emergency or crisis, please contact emergency services and get the support that you're needed. Here's some contact information for you, for those emergency services personnel who is there to help individuals when they feel that a mental health crisis may be coming on. A and remember that a licensed mental health professional, or even sometimes a mental health coach, can get you pointed in the right direction, or somebody who is certified in psychological first aid, because that first aid, that first responder, can also get you pointed in the right direction if it's too late, or you can't get a therapist or a mental health counselor, somebody who's licensed. Or even there are some of us coaches who have experience as a licensed professional counselor, and we can help you get the ball to rolling. And so 988 is the suicide and crisis lifeline intervention number, and they can definitely help you out. And so, again, if you or someone you know is in need of some assistance when it comes to mental health crises, dial 988 suicide and crisis lifeline. Remember that the views shared during this program are intended to support emotional wellness, reflection, and personal growth. This episode is presented by PIMS Balance Sacred Wellness. There's a type of exhaustion sleep doesn't fix. It's not physical tiredness, mental exhaustion, emotional fatigue, spiritual heaviness. This is the kind that builds slowly, one responsibility at a time, one disappointment at a time, one crisis at a time, one sacrifice at a time. Until one day you realize you haven't really been present with yourself in months. A lot of people disappear quietly when they're overwhelmed. They stop creating, stop calling people back, stop posting, stop dreaming loudly, stop doing things they once loved. Not because they're lazy, because they're depleted. One thing I want people to understand tonight is this: rest and withdrawal are not always failure. Sometimes they are survival, but eventually there comes a moment where healing asks us to return. Not perfectly, not loudly, not at all at once. Just honestly return. That's the part many people struggle with because when you've lost momentum mentally, you start believing you have to become who you used to be overnight. And that pressure becomes another form of exhaustion. But healing rarely happens dramatically. Healing often looks like getting out of bed consistently again, answering messages again, taking your walks again. It also looks like you're praying again, you are creating again, you are showing up again. Small returns matter. And I think many strong people secretly suffer because everybody depends on them: the helper, the parent, the counselor, the minister, the caregiver, the entrepreneur. People check on what you do, but not always how you are doing. And after a while, strength becomes performance. But tonight, I want somebody listening to hear this clearly. You do not have to collapse completely before you deserve rest. Sometimes your mind has been carrying too much for too long, and your nervous system has been asking for quiet while your life keeps demanding noise. That's real. Here are some reflection questions. I want you to reflect on these questions this week. First up, what has been emotionally draining me lately? What parts of myself have I neglected? Am I surviving or actually living? What would starting again look like for me? Before we close tonight, I want everybody to unclench their jaws. Let's do a grounding exercise. So, unclench your jaws, relax your shoulders, take a slow breath in, and slowly let it out. Just let go. Let's do it again. Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, take a slow breath in, and slowly let it go. Breathe in slowly and release. You survived things this year that exhausted your mind, and yet you're still here. That matters. Starting again can feel embarrassing sometimes, but there's nothing shameful about rebuilding yourself. Nothing shameful about resting, nothing shameful about recalibrating, nothing shameful about healing slowly. Some of the greatest people you know are quietly trying to begin again too. So this week, be patient with your mind, be gentle with your spirit, and remember progress is still progress, even when it moves slowly. I'm going to take a break for a minute, you guys. Let that settle in, and I'll return and close today's show out. Enjoy the music. All right, you guys, thanks for taking this wonderful journey with me this evening. And before we go, I'd like to share a closing affirmation with you. Repeat this affirmation quietly to yourself as I read it aloud. I do not need to rush my healing. I can begin again. I can move forward one step at a time. I deserve peace. I deserve rest and restoration. All right, you guys, that's a wrap for tonight's episode. And join us next Monday for another Mental Health Monday conversation. Next week's topic: the pressure to always be strong when everybody depends on you. We'll discuss emotional burnout, hidden stress, caregiving fatigue, and what happens when strong people stop checking on themselves. And if tonight's conversation touched you in any way, share this episode with somebody who may need it. I want to give a shout out to the YouTube music library and the artists breaking copyright, non copyrighted music by Safirios. The title of this track is Embrace. I thank you so much for allowing us to be able to create with the wonderful non copyrighted music and the tools that we use on the YouTube Creator Library site. The music on today's episode is used in accordance to creator licensing and attribution guidelines listed with this track. This has been the Mental Health Monday show with Dr. Jackie. It's presented by Pam's Balance, Sacred Wellness. And remember, until next time, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, and check on somebody this week. Until next time, peace and light. Good night, everybody.